No, you're not.
Live.
Yeah.
All right.
So a quick sound check once again. Bless, can you hear me fine now?
Yep, I can hear you perfectly fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, of course. We are great. So Bless, first of all, a big welcome to you. Very
Thank you
happy to
very
see you
much.
here.
Thank you very much
Yeah,
once again. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
yeah, and we have a lot of questions for you right now.
All
So yeah,
right. I'm really excited to get into it.
so can you just go to the people's tab actually? So we have around 46 speakers right here
Yep.
who are live here to listen to you. So first, a brief about yourself. So
Yep. Sure.
we have ourselves Blason Verghese, the self-made social media star, and he will teach you how to be a brand on social media from the scratch. So Bless, would you mind taking us through your journey for once, so the users
All
can know
right.
you
Yeah.
better?
Obviously. So I'm just gonna quickly share my screen because I have my Instagram journey on the slides as well, so that people can just see that. So I'm just gonna quickly share my screen. All right, there we go. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen. All right, so quickly sharing about me. We're talking, by the way, we're going to talk about leveraging social media for your business, as Siddhant mentioned today. So I'm really excited. First of all, once again, thank you to Designhill for the opportunity to invite me and to let me speak on the topic, because this is something that I'm very excited about always, because this is where I started out, and social media was where I started my business in from the scratch. So it would be a great journey for me as well, and it would be a great opportunity for me as well to share the experiences that I have with the community. So quickly, just taking you to the journey that I was in and I am in. I'm currently a owner of agency called Bless Creatives. It's not yet a full-fledged agency, but it will be definitely happening in the near time future. I'm a self-taught freelancer. I don't have any background in education whatsoever. I just hold a graduation, and I'm a self-taught freelancer by myself. And I had the pleasure of working with global clients from across the globe. And one of the very important projects that I worked on was for the Brazil's biggest DJ, that is Alok. And if you follow me on Instagram or if you follow me on Dribble, you might know this already. And currently I have a 45K plus Instagram community. So that's a good thing. This is the community that I am still growing. And this is where I started working as a freelancer. So this is my Instagram journey, because just so that you can know, because I don't have the fancy achievements that other speakers had. But this is my Instagram journey. I started from scratch in 2017. 2017 is where I started my journey as a freelancer. I started off on Instagram itself, and I had no idea. I just started off as a hobby. So this is something that might very well relate to a lot of people, that I started this just as a hobby and not as a full-time freelance strategy. But at the same point of time, I started getting clients, and that's how I realized I always had an interest on graphic design, and specifically if you talk about logo design, I always had the interest on designing logos and knowing more about them. So that's how I got into freelancing, full-time freelancing. I got client inquiries. Let's say 2 or 3 months in, I started posting my work on social media. I started getting client inquiries, and I said, this is it. This is the moment. This is what I've been, trying to do all my life, that trying to do what I love. So why not go for it? By the way, a backstory, just a short story so that people can relate, is that the reason why I started this Instagram page was because I failed in one subject for my last semester on my graduation, and I was home waiting for my next round of exams. So there was a 6-month gap. So I thought, why not use this productively and try and do an Instagram page or a Facebook page that helps me to promote my work, helps me to promote what I have as a creative person. And that's how I started this Instagram page. And then as I started getting client inquiries, I started focusing more on the portfolio, because this is something that is very much important if you're a designer, that you need a strong portfolio rather than design education, rather than holding those fancy degrees. It's much more important to have a strong portfolio so that you can be hired as a professional. That's how I started with Instagram. I then started building a community over Instagram, because that was then the focus, to raise up people and to have the same mindset of people around the community, so that that can help me and that can help them as well. That's how I gained wide exposure when I started focusing more on community. And then I was invited as guests on several podcasts and conferences. And uh, surprisingly, I also got the invitation to be on Designhill from Instagram as well. So that is all about my Instagram journey and my freelance journey, to be honest. So that is all about it. And if you have any questions regarding that, I would always love to answer them. So feel free, because this is going to be an interactive session. This is not just going to be, speaker, me just speaking and you listening, but it's going to be more of an interactive session. So I think, yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Behance, and Dribble with the tag name Bless Creative. So that is about me. A short brief. I don't know if it was short, but yeah, that's about the journey itself.
So it was actually really, very interesting. And first thing, we have a lot of viewers over here. So I just want to give them a brief overview about who we are. So first of all, guys, I'm Siddhant. I'm a community specialist at Designhill. We are one of the world's leading aggregators of designers. So anyone of any background of design can come over here, can connect to clients, no matter what your forte is, from graphics to illustrations to anything. We have a huge marketplace over here, and we have awesome speakers like Bless here itself. So we can have a huge knowledge session. So I hope all of you guys can hear us fine. And Bless, to start with, what I can say, let's say I'm a novice designer. I want to build my own brand. What is the first thing should I look for? Getting more followers, getting content first.
Yeah, that's
What
a
should I
very
look
good question. That's a very good question, because this is something that a lot of people get confused with. So I'll be explaining by explaining what actually social media is and how is it important for, a designer or somebody who owns a design business. Because sometimes as designers, we don't take a design career as business, but we rather take it as just something that we are doing for passion, something that we earn money through the passion that we have and through what we create. But that's actually a very big misconception, because whoever you are, I'll be sharing that more as we move forward on the presentation. So I would like to first start with how important is social media for your business. Now, if you ask what social media is or what social media was, we live in a day and age where almost like everything revolves around social media. We started off this conversation. I got the message from Designhill to be on this platform via social media platform. And if you look at around yourself and your community, you will find that it holds a very important aspect. Social media revolves around us, and everything revolves around social media. Now, it started off funny enough, it started off just as a means to connect with friends and family. It wasn't actually invented to be a business platform. It was just something that started off as a means to connect with family. If you look at the history of Facebook, you will know that Mark Zuckerberg started it just so that people can connect with each other. It was more of like a networking platform into more of a personal level than to do with business. But surprisingly enough, it has now become a very integral part of everyday life. We get up, and probably 80%, 85% of the viewers will relate to this. The first thing that we do is check our phones and check social media. Obviously, check messages, or let's say Instagram, or let's say WhatsApp or Facebook, because it holds a very integral part in our everyday life. And as much as important it is for our personal life, surprisingly enough, it has also doubled as a great business platform. And through the course of these years, uh, somebody is mentioning there is no sound. Is it okay? Because somebody just mentioned that there is no sound. All right, that might be on their front. Okay, I can't hear you because you have muted. I think the sound is okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, the
All
sound
right.
is actually fine. I guess there is one user who is struggling with the issue. The rest
Yeah.
is good, I guess.
All
So, as
right. That's great.
interesting fact, Bless, we actually have three questions over here.
Oh,
So the
okay.
first one is by a person named Biswajit, and it's a
Okay.
very actually pretty funny question sometimes. Do you pay tax as a freelancer?
All right. Yeah, this is a very funny question because specifically being from India, I'm based off in India, by the way, for the viewers who don't know, I'm from
Ah,
India and I work from India as well. So let's answer this question. So, do you pay tax as a freelancer? Obviously, you have to pay tax as a freelancer if you are under the slab of tax payee. For viewers who are outside India, India has a tax slab system where if you fall under that tax slab system, you will have to pay taxes for your freelancer. Now, if you're asking this question as a sarcastic question that do you earn enough to pay taxes as a freelancer? Yes, I do pay taxes, and by God's grace, I earn enough that I can pay taxes for my business. But to be very clear, for specifically for Indians, um, you are a sole proprietor of your business. Even if you are a freelancer, you are a sole proprietor of your business, and whatever you get as income, if it falls under the tax slab, you will have to pay taxes for that. Now, I use PayPal for the payment system. PayPal pays GST from them. I mean, they pay the GST that you might have need to pay. Um, and that's the reason they charge you for the conversion of the amount that you get. So in a way, you can present those GST documents while you're paying tax, so that you can prove that you are paying the GST that the government needs. And that is, I think that would probably answer the question that yes, I do pay tax as a freelancer, and everybody should. If you are earning enough, you should. Obviously you should, because you should not play with the government or the schemes. Yeah.
that's very sound advice. So next question is about designing now. So a question by Siddhant Acharya. Is a
All right.
vector portrait illustration designer a good path? He wants to pursue a path in vector portrait illustrations. So how should he pursue it? How should he upskill himself? That's a
All
good
right.
question.
Yeah. So vector portrait illustration designer. So do you mean, to be more specific so that I can answer the question more specifically, is this something that's related with the portraits of like real life scenarios, or are you talking about virtual portraits that you can do? Anyhow, uh, the vector portrait illustration design, obviously it's a good path if you have interest in that and if you have skills in that. The first thing that a lot of designers, a lot of beginners, those who want to start with design career, they face is you know the delusion, or let's say the illusion of the fact that which path is good for design so that I can earn more. This is what a lot of people think, that which field should I choose that I can earn more. So to be honest, design field is not such field where you can earn doing a certain type or a certain criteria of design. If you're really skilled, if you're really passionate about designing, let's say illustration, let's say vector portrait illustrations, then definitely go for it. Why not? Because there are people, those who are living their life earning by just doodling. So it's just like any other business, just like any other design career. Obviously go for it if you have the passion and skill for it.
So one more question before we go to your presentation. So the
Sure.
last question was, as a freelancer, how often I need to upload something on social media?
Yeah, this is something that I'll be answering while we move on the presentation, because I have slides that will help you understand what's the frequency, what the frequency should be like, and how do you start, even if you're a freelancer who is just starting out, and even if you're a freelancer who is experienced enough. We'll be covering this answer as we move on forward on the presentation. So I think we'll answer that while we are presenting the presentation.
Definitely. Then I think we should all move to the good stuff now, the presentation.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. So, as I mentioned, now social media holds a very big importance for your business. And the next question definitely comes is uh, the statistics, the statistics, what the statistics tells you. So, if you can see on the screen, I have a statistic by Hootsuite and VR Social. They did a survey where they analyzed on July 2019 the total population holds somewhere around 7 to 7.5 billion or something. And surprisingly enough, 3.5 billion number of active social media users are now in our world, in the world that we live in, which is quite crazy because you can see that more than half of the population is on social media, which is which is literally crazy for a business owner. Because if you talk about the offline opportunities, you will see there are very less opportunities to reach out this number of people. But if you talk about the online opportunities, let's say social media, you have 3.5 billion reach sitting in your comfort, in sitting with the comfort on your chair, in your place, in your house, or in whatever place you are in. You can reach out to 3.5 billion people because all of them are now on social media. And if you look at the statistics, moreover, you see that 46% of the total population is using social media. And then when we move on to the next statistic, it says that 3.4 billion are using social media via mobile devices. So when you're preparing content, be very well aware of this fact that you prepare content that suits these statistics. Because if you prepare a content that suits just the just the desktop versions, I don't think that's going to work effectively, because probably like 45% of the people, those who are using social media, are using it on the mobile phone. And as we move on to the next statistics, this is October 2019. So it's just 5 months from July. And you can see the number has, gained probably 3.7 billion. It was 3.6 billion just 4 months back, and now it's 3.7 billion and 48%. And just as the same expected result is that everything is now hyped up. So you can now figure out how important is social media for your business. If you're not concerned about social media, you should highly rethink about this, because it's very much important for your business. Now let's move on to the most important question, is that should designers focus on social media? As you mentioned, Siddhant, that you asked that as a designer, should I be focusing on social media? How should I start? So the simple answer to this is 1,000 times yes. If I could tell you that yes, you have to use social media, this would be the best meme, that you should never skip social media as a part of your business strategy. It is very much important that you use social media as a part of your strategy. So let's move on, and let's see why you should use social media. Now, design business is related with people. You're not dealing with virtual expectations. You're not dealing with expected, or you're not dealing with virtual results. You're dealing with people. When you deal with clients, they are people, they are humans, and humans relate better with humans. And the majority of humans, as we have seen on the statistics, that they are now on social media. So why not use social media where humans are? Somebody mentioned, I think it was Michael Janda, that go where the clients are, and where the clients are is definitely on social media. So why not use social media for your business? And as you can see, 4 years back in July 2019, the statistics were something different. Now the demand is rising every day, and it's way cheaper than traditional methods. So I think that is clear enough that why you should use social media, and why you should, as a designer, should use social media. What's the importance? So I think that's very much clear enough for everybody who is starting out, that why you should use social media. Now, I would like to get on to some more questions so that we can catch up on the questions and not leave them behind.
Yes, definitely. So let us start from a very basic question which a client have asked, that how to start as a graphic designer, and what are the core fundamentals that should keep in mind in the design. It's by Sukant Besra. So I
All
guess
right.
it's a very relevant question for someone who is starting in
Yep.
this field. And even though people are experienced, they all need inspiration. So how to find
Obviously.
inspiration as well?
Yeah. So this question can be answered very differently by everybody, because how to start as a graphic designer, the first thing that you would like to ask yourself is that, are you really passionate about graphic design? It's not just a field that you can expect that it will do good to you. It's not a field that you can expect that you will do good on it, because something like MBBS, you can learn, you can always, learn the theories, and you can always learn the practicals and just do it. Something like engineering, you can learn it and you can, like, memorize the stuff and you can have the practicals and then do it. But graphic design is more of like a choice that you make depending on your passion and interest. Again, um, how to start? If you have the passion, I would highly recommend going for online resources that you have, and not to just jump on the you know degree or the college degree for designs. Because, to be honest, the degrees don't matter at the end of the day. What matters is, how is your portfolio, what is your portfolio, and how are you actually taking it forward, and how do you deal with design, and how do you deal with people, those who need design. So at this point, the best thing that you can do to start as a graphic designer is go online, and the best resource that you can get is YouTube, obviously, because that's how I started out, and that's how most of us start out when we learn graphic design. Whatever field that you are focusing on, you can, like, literally search that field on YouTube, and you will get tons and tons of tutorials, and you can learn from that. And then you can try those basics and try to create something that you think might work, and then maybe put onto the world, in front of the world, ask for feedback, look for what's the feedback like, and then you can carry forward with that. If it's not working, it's all good, don't worry about it, because there's always room to learn, there's always a lot of room that you can learn. So how to start will be, definitely, first you ask yourself that, is this something that I want to do because I have the passion for it, or is this something that you want to do because you see a lot of people doing it and it seems cool? Then that's not the right way. And if you really have interest in doing a graphic design business or a career, go for it and start with the resources, the free resources that are available. If you think that the paid resources are going to help you and they are going to be the good investment, then definitely go for it. So I think this will be the basic answer to how to start and what are the core fundamentals that anybody should keep in mind while designing.
So if you want to extend it, let's say we started once. Now the next question comes at how to build a strong portfolio, how to get more traction, how to get more followers. So how should we go
Obviously.
about it?
Yeah, obviously. So this is again something that I have in my next slide. If you see, it says, where do you start and how do you start? So let's just cover this, as the question is now in front of us. Let's just move on with the presentation. So where do you start is, start with these three questions. These are my three questions that I would recommend people to ask themselves before starting on social media and preparing their portfolio, working on their portfolio. The first would be definitely what? What is your goal? Who are you trying to reach? Define your niche. Now, what is niche? We'll be talking about niche a lot more in detail. But the first thing is, what is your goal and who are you trying to reach, and define your niche. Now, what is your goal? It might be sales boost. You want to boost your sales. You might be a company who is trying to boost your sales, or you might be just an individual who is trying to build a community on Instagram or Facebook, or let's say any other social media platform. The first thing is, prepare a goal mindset. Have a mindset that you're going to achieve that goal, and just not go out in social media and do whatever you want to do, but have that goal in your in your mindset, and always have that goal in your frame whenever you're preparing content strategy. The second would be to ask where. Now, where are you going to find them? Let's say now you have prepared a list, or let's say you have confined down who are you trying to reach. Let's say you're trying to reach business owners. Let's say you're trying to reach people, those who are looking for freelancers to work. Now, where are you going to find them? Now, let's say that you're focusing more on startups and not on the existing business. Now, to be honest, almost 85% of the startups hire agencies to do their freelance work. Now, these agencies are all over present on social media. You would not even know, but they are present there. They're following you, they're checking your work, and they are looking on the opportunities that they get so that they can hire you as a freelancer. So where are you going to find them? Do some research online, look at the case studies that people have done, look at the surveys that people have done that will help you to understand where are you going to find them actually, and where is your target mostly present. For example, let's say the reason why I say this is because LinkedIn may not be an ideal place for a vlogger to begin with. Because if you're, let's say you're a vlogger and you're starting as a freelancer, you want to start building your career as a vlogger, you should not go out on LinkedIn and actually put out your work there, because LinkedIn is more like a corporate platform where you will get this serious design business working. But it's most certainly a good place for a copywriter or somebody who is working with writing or somebody who is working with design stuff. It's a good place to start. So always make sure that you research well enough about your target audience. And that is the second question. That's where are you going to find it? And then comes the next question is, how are you going to find it? How are you going to execute this? Like, what is your strategy like? Let's say you have had this list ready, what and where. Don't just go right away and just start posting whatever you would like to have. Always have a content calendar, always ready within yourself, so that you can have the social media strategy. We'll be talking more about these three questions briefly as we move on. So I'll jump on the first one, that is what. And definitely the first thing that I will be asking is defining your niche. Now, I would ask people that which one stands out in the picture on the left. It's obviously the middle one, because that's like quite easy to say that you see the red or the, I don't know what the color is, pink or red or brown or whatever that looks like. But what I'm trying to say is it differentiates from the rest of the picture, and that's how niching down works. Now, what is niching down? What is actually to define your niche? What does that mean? It's just a process of determining a custom ecosystem for yourself. So what does that mean? I have seen many people trying out a lot of different stuff. And I think you'd also agree with me on this, that, you know, they start with design business and they try to do everything. They try to do web design. They try to do a graphic design. They try to do poster design. And then they also try to do logo design. They want to do everything. But surprisingly enough, that doesn't work for them. So there's a very big, very famous saying in English that says, jack of all trades and master of none. It doesn't work for, it clearly doesn't work, because jack of all trades, it's dangerous and it's tiring and will land you in the middle of nowhere. So you need to make sure that you have a niche. You focus on your niche. And what does that means is to focus a field of work, is a focus a field of design business that you think that you really can go ahead with. So how do you do that? It differs for everybody, because for a designer, for a logo designer, that might seem different. For a graphic designer, that might seem different. For a web designer, that might seem different. So defining your niche definitely falls down on the type of work that you're doing. So that is about what. Now, jumping on where. Before that, I would also like to now jump on quickly to the questions, so that we can answer some of them if we have something that we can answer while we go ahead with the presentation. All right, so let's see if we have it.
Yeah, there's a question by Lawrence. He's asking that how do you keep yourself creative?
That's a very interesting question, and a very tricky question as well, because to be honest, I don't actually know the specific way I keep myself creative, because creativity is something that flows from inside and not by an external force, is something that I believe in. Because if you are a creative, you don't need anything that makes you go into that creative mode. You're always creative, even down the details. When you are somewhere out, exploring the city, let's say, you'll find the small details and you'll right away jump onto the creative mode. You'll see some patterns, you'll see some colors that really strike you. You'll see some typography that really strike you. So for me, what has helped me to keep myself creative is the fact that, paying attention to my surroundings. And that can be as simple as a floor tiles, because surprisingly enough, in India, we have very elaborate floor tiles that have great patterns and, a lot of colors around them. When you look at the bed sheets that we have, they have a lot of patterns and colors around them. So paying attention to the smallest details of your surrounding helps me to keep myself creative, and that helps me to keep going. And obviously the community that I have on Instagram helps me to keep going, because the small messages that I get, that hey, you're doing an amazing work, amazing job, learning lot from you, keep doing what you do. That is also one of the biggest reasons that how I keep myself creative.
So as per you, the God lies in details.
Oh yeah, obviously the details. Because to be honest, uh, I have sometimes got inspired by the weirdest of details, and I have worked on them, and I've applied those inspiration on my creative process, and it has worked surprisingly well enough. So it's always paying attention to the smallest of details around you.
So let us move to the let's say a very high priority question which people are asking a lot. How to ensure a consistent flow of clients? Because it happens that when designer work, they get one flow of client, they earn a lot of money, and the season dries out. How to maintain a constant stream of client and sow the cash? How does it
Oh my
work?
God, I wish I could have a particular answer to this, because something I think that a lot of designers and a lot of freelancers and a lot of solo entrepreneurs will agree to this, specifically designers. It's very hard. It's very hard to keep a consistent flow of clients, very hard to keep a consistent flow of cash flowing in. As a designer, you always have to have your bank balance as a saving platform, that whenever you don't have clients, when it's all dry for you, you can at least live, you can at least survive. So some of the pointers that can help you to keep this going is to always be in line with the trends. Now, what I mean by trends is, um, lately enough, I have noticed that LinkedIn is really working for designers. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but I started off on Instagram. It worked really well for me. I got a lot of clients, but lately it's not working. As a client platform, it's not working for me. I don't get as many clients as I used to get while I started out in 2017. What is the reason? Because it's now crowded. It's now crowded so much. You can find like tons and tons of designers around, and tons and tons of, so it's like always a client coming and ask, and then when you share your prices, they will be like, oh, I have somebody who is doing that just for the half of the price that you're offering, so why not I just go there, and why do I waste my money on you? So because it's crowded, now it gets really tricky for Instagram designers to get clients. But at the same point of time, if you look at the LinkedIn platform, it's really working for a lot of designers. And this is something that I'm going to try out in 2020. And this is my social media strategy for 2020 as well, is to focus on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has a lot of quality clients looking for freelancers. So a very pro tip, a very bonus tip for all the designers is to focus on LinkedIn as your social media strategy when you move on, because that will really help you to understand the trends that are always changing. So a clear answer to this, how can you actually keep the flow of clients coming in, will be to keep with the trends and to always be in line with how the industry is shifting.
So the next very fundamental question, once again on Instagram, how to get more followers? As a
Oh my
designer.
days. Okay. So this is something that I've always talked about, and I would like to share a story, a personal story, so that people can relate way more than that. Is when I started out, as I mentioned, I just started out as a hobby and not focusing on building a business or a career on design on Instagram. So I started putting my posts and just random designs on Instagram, whatever I used to just think would be cool and would look good. I would just post them, and people liked it, and I started getting few followers, started getting few likes. So, that always made me so happy, seeing those notifications, seeing those numbers, that, oh yeah, I'm getting more followers. Yes, I'm getting more likes on my post. So I started doing more of the stuff that actually got me more followers. And I can't imagine, I can't let you know the happiness that I had when I hit 10,000 followers on Instagram, because that was a big deal for people. Still it is for a lot of people. 10,000 followers is a big deal, because the first thing is that you get the swipe up feature on Instagram stories and a lot of stuff like that. Because, and then you get to share a post where you can say, hey, thank you, we are now a 10K family. You can now add that 10K, and you see what. So it's just a social strategy that people are now following. Cut story short, I was focusing a lot on followers, and I was doing more of the stuff that I can gain followers. I was looking up YouTube, how to gain more followers. What's the strategy to gain more followers? What are the tips and tricks that I can have more followers in? You know what I'm saying? Because that is how the Instagram community used to portray themselves, as the more followers you are, the more followers you have, the more credible you are, which is not true, which is not at all true. Because I know a lot of designers who have literally less than 500 followers, but they're top-notch designers. They're top-notch creative artists that are focusing more on building their portfolio than just getting followers. So if you ask me, how do you get more followers? Do what the followers like. Simple. As simple that is do what actually the followers like. Ask your followers, what do you like to see more on my work? If they tell you go and do a dance on a random platform, you just go and do a dance, and you have given them what you have asked for, and you just get followers. But as we are focusing more on business platforms and not on influencer platforms, you need to make sure that getting followers is not the best strategy that you can have on Instagram. Obviously, it helps you to get you more credibility, but at the same point, it's not going to help you get more cash, get more clients in, because clients don't need to see your followers. You're not going to get paid by your followers. Your work is going to get you paid. So this is something that I had a very big misconception, and I could only get out of it after 30,000 followers. So you can imagine how crazy it was for me to just keep doing to gain followers, and not to do the work, or to not to focus on my portfolio. So to all the budding designers, and even to the experienced designers, I would say, don't focus on getting more followers. Focus on improving your skills, improving your design skills, and that will help you to gain more clients, and that will help you to gain more design work, rather than just focusing on followers. I think your mic is muted. Sorry.
I'm so sorry for that. So a question came regarding LinkedIn only, the how to build portfolio on LinkedIn. We have
Okay.
proactive list.
So
So
to
yeah,
be
that's
honest, I honestly don't know the master strategy for building a portfolio on LinkedIn. But as far as I know, share more of the content that gives you more credibility. Let's say write a post on how you should build a logo for your company, and how you should actually focus more on the visual identity than on the advertising. And let's say how you should focus more on brand packaging than just on advertising. Because when you do that, it gives you the credibility that you know how it needs to work out. So something, and you can always share your work, you can always share your design work on LinkedIn, but this is something that is an add-on to adding onto your portfolio on LinkedIn. So I literally don't have the master strategy for how to build portfolio on LinkedIn, because this is something everybody's trying to figure out at this point, because not LinkedIn is not very much famous for designers. So everybody's trying their luck, everybody's trying their way of strategies on how it helps. I would say jump on the wagon as soon as possible before it gets crowded. So when you are early there, you can always experiment with stuff, and you can build a community from the scratch, and you can build a credibility from the scratch that is going to help you. So I would say if it's needed, do more research on that. Maybe ask designers who are on LinkedIn and how are they trying it out, so that can help you. I think
So
let's jump on the presentation
definitely.
quickly. All right, great. So as I mentioned, defining your niche is very much important. Let's just look on the second factor, that is where. These are some statistics that help you to understand where your target audience is. As I mentioned, you can always use those case studies that can help you to understand where your target audience is. So how are you going to implement this, and what are the ways that you can implement your social media strategy? This is very important because this is where a lot of people fail. This is where a lot of people mess up. But I would say the first thing will definitely to be start slow. Don't expect to go all out within the 2 months. If you're just starting out, this is something that a lot of people need to really focus on, is that it would be best to focus on just 2 to 3 social media platforms and not more than that. So to all of those who are starting this out, I would say, don't focus on going out on every social media platform and putting your work out, but focus on rather just 2 to 3 social media platforms and manage them when you start out. Because managing more than one social media platform is going to just tire you, and it won't help you to get ahead with the way that's needed. Second would be to plan your process. Plan your content process beforehand rather than just going with the flow. uh, have a planning, have a strategy on how you're going to actually implement your strategy. So the third thing that I would say is post consistently. This is very much important when you're starting out. Don't be the guy who posts once a week and then just goes away and he's not anywhere to see. Hey, what's up? I that I worked on past previous week, and then just go off. Don't be that guy. Post consistently. To stay top of your audience feed, it's important to post consistently. Something that I also recognize is that the algorithms keep changing. As well, let's say on Instagram right now, the algorithm is that if you don't post consistently, if you don't engage, your posts are not going to be on the top of your followers feeds. You're going to be way down the list, which will not be helpful if you're focusing on client work. So posting consistently is very much important. Then the next would be share quality content. Don't just post anything and everything, but focus on quality, because quality is way bigger than quantity. Even if you post once a week, make sure that you post every week, but at the same point of time, you post the quality content that you have. Don't just post everything that comes to your mind. Whatever comes to your mind, don't post it, but focus more on quality. That is going to help you way more than anything else when you're working as like business owner or as a designer. Because this is something that a lot of people get very afraid of, is the fact that, is my work of a good quality? So that's also a very big issue with a lot of people. Be confident. If you really like the work that you're doing, post it out, look for feedbacks, and that will help you to gain more credibility. The next would be human, be you. Don't be someone who acts like a bot. Hey there, this is my work. Like, comment, share, thanks, and then go off. That should not be your strategy. You should keep engaging with people. As we mentioned, humans connect with more. Build a connection, talk to your followers, and maybe reach out to people, network more on your social media platform, network more with your followers, host live streams. As you're doing, you can do webinars, you can do giveaways, you can do meetups, a lot of stuff. There are a lot of endless opportunities that you can use to connect with your followers and your clients, which is very much important. At the end of the day, remember, it's all trial and error. Nothing is going to work out just the way it worked out for anyone else. I am telling you some pointers that can help you to get going, but at the same point of time, it's not necessary that your expertise might be different. So at that point of time, you need to make sure that it's all trial and error. If something is not working for you, stop there, think about it for a minute, and then go for plan B. If it's still not working, stop there and just think and go for plan C. Don't keep blaming anyone. Don't keep blaming the algorithms, or don't keep making excuses, but go for the other stuff that's going to help. Let's quickly jump on to the questions. I think uh, all that I've shared might have been clear for people. Let's jump on the questions so that we can answer more of them.
So I guess slides, all of them have been answered very well. So there has been a question by Jonathan. He wants to know that why exactly do you think the mixing of different niches never works?
It's a very interesting question. Why do you think is mixing up different niches never work? Because let me ask you a question. When you're trying to buy a car, let's say, when you're trying to buy a car, and let's say there's a platform, there's a place where you have cars, where you have bikes, where you have motorcycles, where you have groceries and everything in one place, and then you have exclusive showrooms. Now, which one will you choose? You definitely choose the exclusive showroom, because you know that they know the best stuff. They will have more variations, they will have more quality options, they will have more options, and you can always try out stuff and trade in or trade out, and you can do a lot of stuff. And this is the exact reason why mixing up different niches never works. At the same point of time, this is not to be misunderstood with the fact that should people not try out different stuff? Obviously you can try out different stuff, because I know a lot of people, those who are good at web design, those who are good at logo designing. What's wrong with doing both of that? But it comes down to a personal preference. Don't think that if your friend is good at web design and logo design, you will be good at it. That's not going to happen. That's not how it works, because you have different skill set, your friends have different skill set. If it works for you, perfectly fine, go for it. Why not going for it? There's no hard and fast rule. As I mentioned, it's all trial and error. You just see if it works for you, and then if it doesn't work for you, you just go out on a different path. That's how it is.
So there has been a question which is about how to evolve from a designer to a brand on social media.
Oh
For
yeah.
freelance, and I want to be.
Yeah, because as we started out in this stream, I mentioned that a lot of designers just have that mindset of doing this for passion and earning with that passion. But to have that mindset, first of all, you need to figure out, you need to have this mindset that what I'm doing is a business, and this is not just a freelance work. You're not just a freelancer, you are an entrepreneur that is actually trying to build a brand out of it. Now, how can you have this mindset? Start dealing every step of your creative journey as a business. Now, as a business owner, you will definitely have set goals for the next 5 years. That's how businesses work. They have goals for 5 years, 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, 20 year. A lot of them have different, strategies going on with them. First of all, start acting your creative journey or your creative career as a business. Have your goals set, and some of the smallest details, like having your accounts all set, having a set strategy, a set time to sit down for work. Because as a freelancer, you can always have this thought in your mind that I am my own boss. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. You get up on your PJs, get freshen up, sit down to work. That mentality sometimes just keeps you down and doesn't help you to move forward as a business owner. So having these smallest details, like having a set time to work, will also help you to act and to proceed more as a brand. There are a lot of finer details as well. For example, having the marketing strategy, having the advertising strategy, having the promotion strategy where you promote yourself in a way that brands would do. And networking is a very big important aspect when you are trying to pivot from just a designer to a brand on Instagram or on whatever social media platform you have. So to narrow it down, I would say, first, have a mindset that it is just not a creative journey, you are doing a business. And the second would be to focus on the smallest and finest details, that you need to schedule your day, and focus on how you actually take forward your work. And then the third would be definitely focusing on the marketing, focusing on advertising, focusing on promotion. If we get on that details, it will just take probably a day long workshop to explain how you can actually pivot as a brand. But I think this will help people to start off on how to actually pivot from a designer to a brand.
So as we're moving towards the end of it, so what I want to ask from you is, what are the biggest no-nos in this field? What should we not do actually?
Yeah, that's a very good question. But before, if you could let me just get on with the presentation so that we can wrap it up, will that be okay for you? And we can answer at the end. We can answer what is the do's and don'ts for social media. All right. So quickly jumping in, let's talk about developing a timeless strategy. For those of you are looking for the slides, this will be available to download. Obviously, I'll figure out a way on how you can do that. I think uploading the document will help, I think, to people to download this document so that they can have access to the slides. So talking about developing a timeless strategy is to set SMART goals. And this is what SMART reflects as: having specific amount of time, having measurable stuff, attainable, relevant, and time bound, so that you can have a set strategy for your goals. And the next thing will be to know your audience very well, because sometimes you just don't know your audience and you just keep posting and you just keep doing stuff that you think might know your audience, and it shouldn't be like audience, you don't know your audience. So know your audience, which is a very crucial step when you're building as a designer. And the next thing will be, I have a resource that I would like to share on the resource platform. So people can click on that website and then they can have an analysis of their Instagram or Twitter account that can help them to set a timeless strategy. So let me just put that in on the chat box so that people can access this website. It's a free tool. So it's a free tool and the button text will be website. All right. Great. So I've shared a website that helps you to analyze your Instagram and Twitter analytics. You can use this tool to analyze your Instagram statistics that can help you to grow more efficiently. Audit your process and progress. What is working for you? What is not working for you? Who is connecting with you on social? What networks do your target use? How does your social media presence compare to that of your competitors? All of this stuff, audit them, write them down. That will help you to actually do better as a social media designer. Dig into your peers and competitors and learn from them. There's a lot that I would like to cover, but I know we are very much short on time, so I'll just move on forward. This is a comparison of two brands on how they actually access social media. Is it okay that we take maybe 5 or 10 minutes extra? I hope it wouldn't be a big deal for people. I'm not sure how it works out.
Yeah, of course. We can go ahead with that. Not an issue, please.
All right, that's great. Thank you very much for that. So quickly, I would like to share that what this means: digging into your competitors and peers and learning from them. So looking at your competition's presence will help you to inform your own social media promotion strategy. You need to have a strategy. You need to have a social media strategy that is going to help you to do better. And this is an example. So let's say there are two brands. These are two brands, ice cream brands. They're obviously from United States. They're two brands, and these are brands that promote themselves on Instagram in a different way. The one brand on the left is doing with their products. The other brand on the right is doing with social activities. That's how they promote themselves. So you can learn from your competitors what's working for them and what is not working for them. So you can you can have something that can help you to grow more as a business designer. Prepare curated platform. It's very much important, because copying your stuff that you have shared on Facebook and copying the same thing on Instagram is not going to help. So prepare something that is curated for the specific platform. That is something that you should really be focusing a lot on when you're posting on social media. Now, this is just a small chart to help you understand what works on several platforms. As for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn, I've shared this. You will have access to these files after the webinar so that we can take it forward. And the last would be definitely to say that don't stress out. It's stressful to be posting on social media. As you can see on the left, the meme shares that that kid is stressing out even when he's just literally on the ground, but he's stressing out for no reason. So my suggestion to people is don't stress out. If things are not working, just chill, just take a moment, relax, pause, and then focus more on your strategy again, and then go forward so that it can help you. So this is something that I would like to share more on, that is that don't stress out. And most importantly, provide value and build a community through social media. Don't just be someone who is just sharing his work and doing nothing other than just sharing the work. Provide value. How? Because social media, to be honest, is about building relationships. It's just not a platform where you post your work and just disappear and expect the magic to happen. That is not how it works. A meaningful relationship means that both parties give and take. It's a give and take a platform. And as somebody who is giving out something to your followers or to your community, value is the most important thing that you can give. So how can you, why to provide value? Because it helps you to retain your clients. It gives your clients and followers a reason to follow you, and it helps you to build a brand royalty. How to provide value? As a very good example is Designhill itself. They're providing value by doing lots of stuff that is helpful for the community. If you look at their blog, they have a lot of educational content. They have a lot of tutorials, and they're doing this webinar, which is free of cost, which is insanely crazy because you can have literally people charging you thousands and thousands of dollars for a free hour of consultancy, but they're doing it away for free, which is a very big example of how you can provide value. You can do giveaways, you can do Q&As, all that stuff. This is how you provide value. So I think this wraps up the whole session. I know it was a very rushed in because I always keep running around circles, and because I like to talk, I like to be interactive with people, and maybe that might not have been way more explanatory for people, but I think the slides will definitely help people to understand what will help them, or what actually will be helping their whole social media strategy. So I think I'll be sharing the PDF file on a share media platform so that people can have access to the PDF or to the presentation that I have.
Yes, that's amazing lesson. First of all, it's actually good that you actually spoke your heart out, and plenty of our clients are actually pretty happy with that. They're saying that it was an awesome presentation. So yeah, it was
Yeah, that's
taken care.
great. Just a quick do's and don'ts, as you have mentioned. We'll just answer just quick do's and don'ts that you should be doing and that you should not be doing. The don'ts, the biggest don'ts that I think is, first of all, don't focus on followers. Like, this is the biggest thing that I would ask people to not do, is to not focus on followers, but focus more on your content, focus more on your skills, focus more on your passion that you have, because followers are going to lead you to nowhere. What if tomorrow, and what if next month, Instagram just decides that followers don't mean anything to your platform, to your account, which is going to happen very soon because we know Instagram is testing this out. What if that happens? It is not going to help you in no way whatsoever. So I think people should understand the fact that you should never focus on followers. Don't compare yourself with anyone. Don't compare yourself with people around you. If they're doing good, it's because they are working hard. So focus more on what you're doing, focus on your own journey, and don't focus on followers. I think these two would be the major don'ts on social media when it comes to social media strategy.
So I guess that was actually very amazing what we heard, and to all the listeners as well. You'll get the recording of our webinar very soon on your mail, and along with the PDF, which Bless will be sharing with us.
All right.
So I
Yeah.
had, so I hope you all had a great session, and thank you once again, Bless, for joining us.
It was a
And I hope,
pleasure. It was a pleasure to be here. First of all, again, I would like to say a big thank you to all of you for this opportunity to share and for this opportunity that I can be here with the community and help them to share whatever I have and share whatever I could. I think this helps people. And to everybody, those who are here, I would say you can always reach out to me on social media. I don't know, where is it? All right, I think it's here with the with the tag Bless Creatics, BLESSCREATICS. You can always reach out to me on email as well. Right now I'm having a social media break, so Instagram would not be the best place. Maybe ping me on Twitter, that would be good, or maybe just email me so that I can help you out if you need any help.
so Bless, that was amazing.
All
And
right.
obviously, we'll see you very, very soon once
Yes.
again to share more of your wisdom with our community.
Thank you very much once again, guys, to all those who have took their time out and they have been here for the while. Thank you very much once again for everything. Hope to see you guys soon.
Of course, Bless. So have a good day ahead.
Have a good day too.